are some of my favorites in these leftovers. I missed more, but I promise this is the last time. I think. Maybe. Okay, at the very least, these are the last couple Yuri manga to my knowledge. So, let's just get into it. Sex! Sorry, I was just trying to weed out all the little children watching this video on their iPads and aren't supposed to be here. And also because that's what this one's all about. What are you surprised for? Does it count if your first time is with an android? I think me and Sam decided on no, because on one hand, sex is an emotionally significant thing that a lot of people find creates a deeper connection between them and their partner who they love. So to an extent, whether or not something is your first time is sort of more a personal decision rather than a set in stone rule. But on the other hand, sex act, so really yes or no is up in the air and a much more philosophical question than the manga probably thought. But that's a conversation for another day. This is one of your classic Kit Kat animes. Like you see this and you go, oh, degenerate. And I can't even defend myself here. This one's just chapter after chapter of Robo-style Yuri sex. And the worst part is that it's good. There's something about good hentai art that I can only really describe as juicy, because that's the only word going through my head while I watch these Arby's-esque slabs of meat moisten up right before my eyes. Somehow this metaphorical barbecue is better than the real one, and I'm from New Zealand, so I'm allowed to say that. I don't think the story, what little that there is, can be more basic. Bro was drunk and spent their entire life savings on a cleaning robot that turned out to be a state-of-the-art sex robot, with subsequent chapters being an attempt to give you post-nut clarity. I'm serious. The most the story develops is when the MC's almost but not quite sister comes down to see her, and even that turns into an excuse to get out the police cosplay. There's a joke in here somewhere about how it should be illegal to read this shit, but I don't think I'm ready for a fan meetup quite yet. I think MC Tsuda-san is a cool, if not kind of infuriating character, but at the end of the day, there's no point breaking down why I think the characters are weak when there's no story for them to actually evolve in. For what it is, the characters do the job, even if you need a slightly higher than average suspension of disbelief for what's happening. If you take pride in how much you don't have a girlfriend, I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. But for the average reader, these ones are better, and if you just want to jack off, then just watch hentai. I don't know what you... okay. Yep.
You ever feel like no matter how hard you try, people will always see you as your past self, just as this one thing, one unchangeable thing?
Like a dog?
When has someone redeemed themselves? What does someone have to do to prove they aren't who they used to be? Well, it depends what they've done, right? Well, what if they burn down a village and cause you to go blind? That's what this one's about. Heath is a monster, who is the reason why Princess Lily Blind is, well, blind. But despite that, they fall in love. Even when Lily learns that it was Heath's fault, she still wants to live with her for the rest of her life. It truly is a showcase of complete, undying love that goes beyond barriers of race and prejudice, and it's just love. If you can't tell by this video, and any others on this channel, I find love a difficult thing to grasp. Maybe one day I'll find someone who I can connect with, or maybe I'll spend the rest of my life roaming this empty forest, watching over everyone else. Normally I'd do a smash cut here, but this time, I think I'm just gonna relax a little and start talking about the next one. Story is nice, but continuity hurts my brain. Sometimes I want to play Minecraft and build a mystical story of triumphs and falls, and sometimes I want to get blown up in Deep 2 and respawn 20 seconds later. That's likely why I enjoy Fusori no Renri so much, as although there is an overarching idea, each chapter is mostly about living in the moment as a means to progress. It's a lot like real life, really. All of us deal with things, but all with an overarching idea of to survive. Unless you play Overwatch, which you can only do to get mad. Fuck Overwatch. Overwatch can suck my dick. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. You may notice something about the pages I'm showing you. They look like they've been given the treatment. But I assure you, it does actually look good, and isn't just the artist getting a bit too familiar with the hue tool. If anything, it does make the manga a bit more memorable. When I was refamiliarizing myself with it, the moment I saw this shade of what I think is brown, I was like, oh, this one, oh, okay, and then it all came back to me. The story, that is, which is Slice of Life. So for some people out there, it's a nice cozy story to snuggle up to with a nice cup of cocoa. And for the other, fucking boring. I won't judge your choice, but if you think the second, you aren't invited to my birthday party, which is like a third of this channel at this point, so you'll be missing out on a lot of primo content. I mean, we got an office worker having sex with a delinquent with sick as fuck arm tats, if I do say so myself, in the first chapter. What more do you want? Alright, it's a bit basic, but despite its basic nature, it finds sweetness and simplicity. Vampires? Yeah. Sensual blood sucking? Yeah. Finally, the best vampire horny manga. We've done it, boys. We found peak. We found perfection. We found... What is this shit, man? Why am I crying? I thought this was... I can't say anything about this series without spoiling anything or everything, and it's too short to give a synopsis, so just know that it gets my official Kit Kat seal of approval, and I recommend you read it if you have similar taste to me. Ah, I appear to have been isekai'd. And who is that over there? Well, if it isn't Shatten, that is her real name, she was isekai'd here into this game, but as her roleplay character. So you can only imagine the type of crazy hijinks to come out of that. Yeah, this one's basic. I don't really have much to say to convince you to read this one. The most I can say is that in terms of cookie cutter isekai, this one is at the very least on the good side. It does lean way too heavily into the shit-ass isekai tropes that completely ruin the genre for a lot of people, including myself. Like, nothing kills creativity and interesting storytelling more than formulas and grids. Oh, she's super powerful and all the enemies underestimate her? Great. She saves a sidekick who she falls in love with? Ooh. She can access her inventory through a magic void instead of anything interesting? Wow. Cool. I guess, like, the art style is, like, leagues more distinct than your average trend writer. And, I mean, due to the fact that it does stick so close to tropes, it is at the very least, like, consistent. So, I don't fucking know. Read if you're a Giguk fan. Speaking of flipping tropes, looking up to magical girls is either super fucking stupid or god-level parody. I can't quite tell. Here we have our protagonist, who accidentally became the leader of the forces of evil after getting blackmailed by this what I believe to be a cat or a bat hybrid, I'm not sure, they never clarify. After becoming that and getting into a fight with the magical girls, her first impulse upon capturing them is to spank them. We've done it, boys. We found peak. Okay, I'm not going to do this joke again, but she is very relatable as a fellow degenerate myself. You know, I can really understand her. I do enjoy her presence. Now, the story doesn't deviate from your classic magical structure in the sense that no one really gets hurt. No one's really at harm. Every chapter has this unreal pretense that does sort of make everything seem useless. So if you don't enjoy every other part much more than normal, like character interactions or the art, you're not going to enjoy it that much. I mean, you know, fortunately, I do enjoy the other parts. Quite a lot. Fuck trash taste. I hate trash taste. I'm just kidding. I love trash taste. I love them. But I do hate when they get to a manga before me. Like, come on, man. I read that shit ages ago. I just forgot to put it in the fucking text document that I used to for my Yuri. So now it looks like I'm copying them, which is like, I'm not, okay? I ain't no fucking normal YouTuber. You think if I wanted to pop off, I'd upload a fucking Fortnite video? No. So please, just get this to me. I need this. I wanted to talk about this manga ages ago. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. It's pretty good. I'm gonna just point out the obvious thing first. Yes, the manga does use quite a lot of green to highlight, which is really, really fucking cool in my opinion. And if it's between you and me, likely the reason why this manga popped off so hard. And also in my opinion, aside from looking really fucking cool and distinguishing the manga, it's not really that, like, anything more than that. Like, okay, I mean, it's cool. But unlike something like Mondstadt Telepathy, where the colors very clearly to show the difference between the MC's mind and real life, the green here serves no purpose, which I think it's leaving on the table. Also read Mondstadt Telepathy. What happens in this manga is fairly simple. It's in the title. In fact, I've even covered a manga with a very similar premise already in the original Yuri video. Not to say that the story in this one is predictable, it's just that the premise isn't anything extraordinary. In my opinion, the strongest part are the characters. They each have their own quirks, and there is a little stereotyping. It's only to the extent where it makes the characters more realistic, as stereotypes are rooted in some form of truth, just exaggerated to the point where it becomes condescending or outright offensive, which is where most of the issues with stereotyping come from. I especially love MC Mitsuke, who has uncontrollable riz and alt taste in music. And, you know, as someone myself who has alt taste in music and uncontrollable riz. Maybe not the second one. I know I was dogging on the story a little earlier, but it genuinely is well told. I do wish the chapters were a little longer though. I do understand with manga being released online becoming more common, the chapter lengths normally enforced by publishers aren't there anymore, so manga are allowed to go Suko Psycho mode. But there are only like 4 pages per chapter, compared to the like 29 that's normal. Even Monster Telepathy, which only has 1 page per chapter, has 717 chapters to make up for that. Okay, to wrap up, I do actually really like this manga and recommend it. It's nothing super special, but if you like good art, good story, good characters, good everything, all drenched in this radioactive green, then I'm sure you'll like this one. Okay, if you're only here for those and you don't know who I am and you're like, oh yeah, Yuri manga, you can leave now. For all of you who have been here watching the trilogy so far, I thought that it would be fun to quickly redo a couple that I didn't give nearly enough time to in the originals. Okay, this Love That Won't Reach isn't that bad. It's been realistic with the whole falling in love with your brother's wife thing, like there's so much that has to happen for that to even be a scenario. And also, if I wanted to retrash your romance manga, I just reread Domestic Girlfriend. So there's not really much point for this one to exist, but I don't know, like that's a bit harsh, but you get what I'm trying to say. I feel the villainess is much better upon reread than I initially said. It has a much better isekai execution than most Shidai's isekai, and definitely has much more interesting and likable characters. In the 31 Yuri video, I said that I didn't remember Useless Princess, but I have reread it, and it is really good. I think that I would even bumped it up on the list a little bit. I think I was really harsh, and I kind of really regret not rereading it and putting it into the script, but also, that 31 manga video is so shit, like, I would delete it off this channel if it wasn't my most viewed video, and some people who are current members of the community didn't enjoy that video or didn't come in on that video, so I'll leave it up, but just know that I don't really enjoy it that much, and I think that it's sort of a bad video. Sorry, I'm about to butcher this name. Kimi to Tsuzuru Utakata, which is the one that was like about the girl who was suicidal. It won an award where the guy she was interested in wasn't the guy at all. Also won an award, and I think that it 100% deserved it. I think that it's a really great story, and I know that in the comments someone really connected with that, so I think that that's really cool that it won an award, so big ups to that. Sorry But I'm Not Yuri has had a couple more chapters, and I just want to say it got so much better. It is so good, and it's like it was always good, right? But it's so much better now. I really enjoy it. Probably one of my favorite mangas of all time. It's so funny. And Megumeme still hasn't accepted my fucking Facebook friend request, which sucks. So I'm a little sad about that. All right, here's the final ranking for anyone who cares. Is everything there? And with that, we end the trilogy. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to talk about Yuri, and definitely still about manga, but as of right now, I've run out of Yuri to talk about, so there's no point making dedicated videos anymore. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and this whole series has been really fun and fulfilling. And, let's hope that this video doesn't get buried by the algorithm because of the stupid fucking Fortnite video. I want to delete that video so bad, but it's kind of good. I don't mind it. Why?